I see people training in the gym 5+ years, 10+ years, and they're still making these mistakes and they're missing out on gains. Yo, what is going on, everyone? So the other day I was just watching my friend Chris's workout, and he's super big, super strong. He's been lifting for 5+ years. He's probably stronger than me, but I was watching his workout and I'm thinking, oh, we could be doing this better, could be doing this better. And so I thought I'd compile all of the advice into one video, mistakes that I see advanced lifters making all the time. And Chris, if you're watching this, I'm not gonna hold back, buddy. I am not. I know you can take it. You're a tough guy, so let's get straight into this. All right, so a couple things here. If you guys notice on the chest press there, he was really just dropping the weight down. Now, if you're training for strength, that might be a good idea because that's a good technique to lift more weight. And so you want to practice the technique that you're going to be using to lift more weight if you want to lift more weight. But in order to build muscle, you're really missing out on like half of the rep there. You're missing out on gains. If you guys aren't controlling the whole way down, each rep is going to be a lot less effective, and you can't do enough reps to make up for that loss of stimulus. So you're going to miss out on gains if you don't control the whole way down. You don't have to go super slow. If you notice the guy in the blue shirt there, he's not going super slow, but he's controlling the whole way down. So the guy in the blue shirt there, doing a great job. Chris, I think you could do better, buddy. If you're not training for strength, if you're training for muscle growth, then I think you can control it a bit more. And right there with these dumbbell push-ups, using dumbbells for your push-ups is a really good idea, guys, because you can sink even further down compared to when you're not using dumbbells. You just hit your chest against the floor, limiting the stretch, limiting gains. But right here, he's got the dumbbells so close, so he can't get that additional stretch, defeating the whole purpose of using the dumbbells in the first place. And again, just not controlling the whole way down. Now this exercise right here, the dumbbell lift up, it's really good for mind-muscle connection. A lot of people feel that good squeeze, which can be good for mind-muscle connection. But in terms of building muscle, the squeeze is like almost an entirely useless part of the movement. It's kind of just a waste of energy. So for me, if I was trying to build muscle, this would be like one of the last exercises I would choose. But you know, to each their own. Every piece of advice that I'm giving in this video is for people who are trying to build muscle. So if your goal is to do a muscle up or one-arm push-ups or bench 300 pounds or whatever your goal is, if it's not building muscle, then this advice isn't for you. But if you're trying to get big,
today's shoulders, triceps, and shoulders. Chest, triceps, and shoulders. So we got to throw in some chest, or rather shoulders as well. So we're gonna be doing 3 different superset, maybe 4 to be honest. I'm trying to make these guys fucking work, right? I like making people work and also pushing myself. What type of person would I be to tell these guys to do like 3 different sets and not do it? So you got to make sure you're putting in the work, especially if you're instructing others to do it.
Yeah, so I think that's really good advice. I think a lot of people, they don't push hard enough when they go to the gym, which can really limit gains. But something else that can limit gains is not resting enough, and doing supersets back to back where you're working the same muscle groups can actually be detrimental for your gains. Like the first set, you go all the way to failure, super beneficial, and then you don't rest and you keep going. You're just wasting energy, making it harder to recover. You're not getting that proper stimulus for muscle growth when you keep pushing. The studies have actually shown that you can get more gains from pushing past failure with long length partials, but to lighten the weight and drop sets and supersets with different exercises for the same muscle and all this stuff, it is kind of a waste of energy. It can be a preference thing. For guys like this who love training super hard, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably better than not pushing hard enough. But yeah, if you guys really want to maximize your muscle growth, I recommend just straight sets or long length partials at the end of your set, instead of doing supersets back to back for the same muscle. If you're going to do supersets, use separate muscles. So for example, like chest press and then supersetting in the row, completely different muscle groups, so it won't be as detrimental for your gains. But yeah, work smarter, not harder, guys, is basically what I'm saying.
Well, we're doing shoulder press.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that is not how you do a shoulder press, guys. Okay, I get it. If you're training for strength, if you're training to lift as much as you can, Obviously, you should do some muscle growth training as well because you need muscle to lift a lot of weight. But if this is the technique you're going to be using to lift more weight, practice that technique, of course. But if your goal is to build muscle, stopping here is not the way to do it, guys. You got to go all the way down. I'd rather see him do these than these. That is the least effective portion of the rep for muscle growth. So that is a non-effective way to do it, in my opinion. Yeah, so this is a really good superset here because he is actually using different parts of his shoulders. So for here, he's using his rear delts, his side delts, his traps, and then he supersets it into this, which is more for his front delts. So I really like this superset. First thing he's done in this workout that I really like, but yeah, this is a good superset as well because it's super convenient. You use the same weight, same thing. You're just standing there back to back, easy. So yeah, no complaints there. Yeah, so it was a good superset, and then when he started supersetting it with the dumbbell side raises, you already got a really good side delt workout with these. So, you know, not the best, but not the worst. Another note to mention, with the dumbbell side raises, there's no tension at the bottom, which is the most important part of the rep. So I would much rather see him do cable side raises here if his goal is to grow his shoulders. This machine is a little better. Still not quite as good because you can't like cross your body. It stops you here, but still tension in the stretch position, so better than dumbbells in my opinion. Yeah, so I really like how he's going all the way down. One thing though is he's pausing in the contracted position on these shrugs and he's bouncing out of the bottom. I think he should do the opposite. Like I mentioned earlier in this video many times, the stretch portion is the most important part of the rep for growing your muscle. So pause in the stretch position and don't even focus on going all the way up. It's not the worst thing in the world if you go all the way up, you can still make good gains that way, but definitely don't pause in the contracted position. But yeah, it's not the worst thing what he's doing here.
I like to challenge myself. Now, I ain't an ego lifter, but I do want to know what I can hit on this. And 2 plates felt pretty light, I'm not going to lie. So I want to see if I can hit at least 6, but just 2 plates into 10, so I can push myself a bit. Let's do this shit. It's always that initial liftoff.
That machine is not the best just because it does, like you can't adjust the safeties, it does stop you right here. That's actually my problem really with this gym. It's super expensive and all of the equipment seems to stop you before you can really get a good stretch. Well, obviously he did mention there though that his goal was to hit a certain amount of weight, even though he said he's not an ego lifter, which debatable. Just kidding, Chris. But yeah, I would say he would be able to grow more muscle, getting more stretch, but if he's training for strength, obviously that's not his goal.
I like doing drop sets, especially for the arms. Feel like it works it the best. I'm not too concerned about going super heavy, especially with arms, man. I just feel like it's counterintuitive. I feel like volume's more important, especially because it's a smaller muscle, and it's being worked when you are doing the heavier lifts as well. But not like light to the point where you're able to do like 3,000 fucking reps.
So what he means by volume here is reps in a set, which actually isn't what volume means. What volume is the number of sets, and you can also argue the intensity of those sets, but intensity is kind of a separate thing. But anyways, what he said there is actually incorrect. Your arms need the least amount of volume. The smaller the muscle, the less volume they need. For example, your quads need the most amount of sets to grow optimally, whereas your arms don't need as many. But he is right though, going higher reps for your smaller muscles is a good idea because then you can push harder. But with, for example, with quads, if you go really heavy, then it's more likely that you're gonna push all the way to failure. It's really hard with a lightweight to take your quads all the way to failure because your mind is gonna tell you to stop early on, so, and your cardio can be a limiting factor. But yeah, he is right. Higher rep sets are a good idea for your smaller muscles.
So we did our warm up because as I said, you should always do a feeler. And if you look at these grips, It's different, right? Typically with the ropes, you don't have that same sort of grip where this is actually like designed for your hand. It's got the rivets and everything. And honestly, it's emphasizing my triceps a lot more, which is the purpose, right? It wants to mitigate the amount of usage of your synergist muscle. And in this particular movement, that is your forearms. So you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're not using your forearms by going past your elbows and your lats, really. So it's all about isolating the right muscles.
So a couple things there. The grip, I definitely agree. Getting a good grip can definitely help you isolate the muscle that you want to use better, can take out your forearms from the movement. The part that I disagree with, he says, don't go past your elbows. So basically what he means by that is to, instead of stretching your triceps all the way, to stop here. He says to limit forearm involvement, but guys, I really don't understand why he thinks that. I mean, you're actually getting a way better triceps exercise the more that you stretch your triceps, and when you're limiting that stretch, he's basically doing shortened partials, which are the worst way to build muscle possible. Lengthened partials being the best, full range of motion being the second best. Short length partials are the worst way to build muscle. So another note here too is when you're pushing down, you're not stretching out the long head. The long head is actually attached to your shoulder. So you have to move your shoulder up in order to fully stretch the long head of your tricep. So he's missing his long head altogether in his tricep training here, which is definitely a big no-no. If you had to do one tricep exercise, make it an overhead tricep exercise and make sure you're fully reaching back and getting that stretch.
Right muscles and paying attention to what you're feeling, right?
I agree. Yeah, mind muscle connection is important, but yeah. He's definitely pushing it.
Okay. It's a W gym partner. When you have a gym partner, man, you get to do shit like this. No, 40, 40, 40. Just trying to make it easier for me.
God. Amateur
And don't
hour.
put your hands together at the top. That shit's not, we don't do that shit out here.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think bringing your hands together can give other muscles some leverage to push. So if you're trying to isolate your triceps, keeping your arms apart definitely will help isolate them more. It's painful for me to see him cut out that stretch, guys. And I think this is why it's such a common mistake, because you can feel a good burn in your triceps from working it out in the shortened position. And he might feel his forearms more in that stretch. But I'm telling you guys, getting the stretch on your triceps is the most important part.
Mego lifting. You'll notice, I'll look back at it, I'm starting to use my traps.
He's cutting out the stretch more and more as he goes along. You should do the opposite. Cut out the contraction as you get tired, not the
See,
stretch.
I have to drop the weight again because if not, I'm gonna just use my lats. I don't wanna do that.
And yeah, what he just said there was he was starting to use his lats, so he's got to focus more on his form. I agree. I think leaning forward more, dinging his elbows back, and bringing his arms all the way up will help him take the lats out of this movement.
That's it, that's it. Okay, fuck it, we'll do one more.
You gotta push yourself, man.
Yeah, bro.
Push yourself. I agree. Not like this though.
Straighten out those arms, man. What are you doing?
Hell yeah, that's what I need though, you know? Because sometimes I'll work out with people and they'll see that I'm a little bigger than them, a little more experienced, and they won't push me. You gotta push your partners, regardless of what level they're at.
He's calling me small, guys.
Shout out
He's
to
calling me
James
small.
for
Okay.
pushing me in those videos.
We're gonna attempt something amazing. We're gonna attempt to do a muscle up. It's been a while since I've actually done one. We just did 5 pull-ups though, so I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses or whatnot, but I am a little fatigued. I'm gonna try it, you know, because the only way of knowing where you're at is by pushing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I could do it or not unless I try it. So that's just the way it is. It is a little crooked though. Do you wanna try it first? I need a second to rest up a bit.
I'll try.
Drop a comment in the comments if you think you could do it. If you have to do it a different way, do it a
I
different
would be
way.
insanely impressed. Yeah.
Nope. Fuck, man, I'm nervous to try this.
I used to be able to do double the pull-ups and I still couldn't do it.
They say like if you could do like 15 pull-ups or something like that, you should be able to do a muscle up. And I could do 15 pull-ups, but when I'm rested.
Yeah, so right there, he mentions doing 15 pull-ups. Now, putting a number on your pull-ups, I don't really like that. It's kind of an arbitrary number because when he says he can do 15 pull-ups, I assume he's not going all the way down. I assume he's not controlling the way down. I assume he would only be able to get like 7, maybe 8 if he did like really, really proper pull-ups. And muscle ups are also a lot about technique. So I don't think you need to be able to do 15 proper pull-ups in order to do a muscle up. But yeah.
Oh no.
I don't think I can do that. That's impressive. He's making
Well, we
it
have
look
two
easy.
arms, so why would I just do one arm? I can't do this.
Me neither, buddy. That's impressive stuff.
This is a different type of machine. I fuck with this machine.
Yeah. I just gotta say it, guys. So this machine is actually for lat pullovers. So you're meant to keep your arm straight and pull it. There is actually a machine very similar to this, very close by, where the cable attaches lower. And so you're able to get that stretch on your tricep, which is the whole point of doing an overhead tricep extension. This looks very awkward for him. It looks like he's fighting for his life to not use his lats in this movement. And he's still not getting that stretch because the cable is attached way up here. This isn't as stretched as this, right? So, yeah. Okay. Okay. So I like how he's kind of controlling the way up. I think he could be controlling the way up a little bit more, but at least he's getting that full stretch. I think he could be getting more of a stretch. You can tell he's clearly not really focused on getting that stretch, which I think his progress would just blow up if he's like, he's obviously got insane genetics. So if he really focuses on that stretch, like his muscle growth would just skyrocket. But out of this workout, I think this is one of his best efforts for muscle growth, I think. Yeah, so that was his workout. Overall, for hypertrophy, I would give this workout a 5 out of 10. But when you include things like strength and overall fun, I would give it a 7 out of 10. He's pushing really hard, which really brings my rating up there. But in terms of muscle growth, the stretch is the most important part. I recommend pausing in the stretch on every exercise. And other than that, really good workout. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.